Be strong, my divine beings, my chosen ones who are out there going through it all. I woke up from a dream the other night and my nose was starting to tingle a little bit. I was on top of a bridge. I was living there, and literally the bridge, like, it was made out of wood and it was cracking, and you could see the spaces in between, like everything that was underneath. And there was a lot of people on this bridge, and it was starting to fall. And I literally woke up to hearing London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. You are being tested. I talked about in one of my previous videos on my old channel about the movie Legion, and there was a couple of things I got different download than I did the last time I watched it. You are being tested through your strength and also through your weakness. Okay, right now you need to be in total faith. God understands you're in a human form, but He really needs you to be that faith, because right now He is bringing in a tower. You are going through a tower right now, a major tower. And I made a video last week on my channel before a tower hit, and I predicted. I literally predicted a few days before, and I said that God has already removed a lot of people from your life. You was obedient, you listened to Spirit, and He's about to remove even more. Because I also, in the dream world, God has been showing me certain people, and like I was floating above and seeing conversations. Like, God hears conversations that you don't hear. And yes, He knows it hurts. He knows it hurts, but if you would have kept certain people in your life, I'm hearing you never would have left. If I don't make it uncomfortable for you, you wouldn't have moved even further. Like, it has to be done this way. You have to stay in faith. And not only that, you gotta remember this: if a God allows something to happen, there's a reason for it. Even though when the enemy is putting it on, remember this: the devil works for God. Remember that. Okay, he works for God. The enemy wants to remove everything from your life that you love, whatever that is. He wants to take to where you're totally by yourself, where you have nothing. You don't have a place to live. You, like I said, a phone. You don't have an address. You don't have a mailbox. You don't have no money. You have nothing. But you, divine being, you go to Father for everything, which is, you do. You literally go to Father. And that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to. The enemy is trying to drain you, wear you out. I'm literally seeing cinder blocks like tied to your feet. You know, they're doing a lot of wound magic. You know, I noticed I've been having very mild cramps to where you have nothing coming in, birthing of nothing, no creativity, many evil eyes upon you. But God is canceling those evil eyes out, because one thing I always talk on my channel is energy never lies. Energy never lies. If you could take one thing from me, one thing besides going to Father for everything and having faith, energy. If you feel something off in the energy, I'm talking about if maybe, for example, you're around somebody, and yeah, you like them, whatever, they're your buddy, they're your what. If you feel something is off, it's not sitting right with you, go with that gut, because God gave us that gift for, like, our intuition, that gut, that instinct, you know. And the devil talks about that. He talks about that you have this gift, but, you know, you guys don't use that, and he thinks it's funny. He literally does. He thinks it's so funny. And he talked about that in the movie Devil they don't want me to shut up. They want me to shut up. They talk about it in the movie The Devil's Advocate, where the devil was saying, God gave you the gift of intuition in your gut, but you just don't want to listen. I promise you, they want to remove everything. They feel like that you will lose your power, to, if you don't have anything, you have nobody to call, you have nobody to reach out to. And one of the I had a dream about today when I woke up. I had a dream that I was arguing with a mother and a sister, and I was saying, we were arguing like, you need to give me back the money that you stole from me. And in my dream, my higher self was saying, if I don't have it my way, I don't get a one, it's going to stress me out to where I relapse. Now, what I took from that dream, to anybody out there who's in recovery from addiction, like you're sober now, they want you to lose it all because somebody's listening. Somebody can hear your words. If you say, back in the days, I used to say, man, some people live on the street, man. Shit, I would want to be high living on the street to be numb. But that was when you're when you're unhealed. They want you to get back to that, because it also goes to another movie I was led to watch, something, I don't remember the word, but something, the R word in dreams, whatever that was, where the girl was hooked on heroin, and she literally she lost her boyfriend, she lost her friend, she had no way of getting it, so she had to go to this guy who basically uses women for their body, and he gives them heroin for it, to be like basically a slave to him. Like, I'll know you'll do anything for this heroin. You know what I mean? Literally, they want you in that, but what they don't understand is that how you changed. They don't want to recognize or see that you have changed, that you get your strength from Father. Yes, it may be hard. Yes, it may be hard, but you get your strength from the Most High. And not only that, you have your answer. Oh, the other day when I was in the shower, I was literally praying, and I heard the song, we're true soldiers, we don't die, we keep rolling, na 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 na. And what's so crazy is, I just shared on my Facebook about the ancestors were, you haven't heard that song, it's by Master P, na 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 na, whatever, make them say whatever. And that's what the ancestors are saying. You, my love. And it goes back to the movie Legion. In the movie Legion, there was a chosen child that had to be born that's literally going to change things. And, God was angry on how ugly it is. But your love is what's going to save this world. And not only that, it got so dark and ugly that you would think that these were demons that were attacking. No, these were angels. I'm hearing that the wrath that's coming to the ones that keep attacking you, they're going to think they're demons, but this is coming from heaven above. You, not only do you have, Father, and this has all got to be proved from Father. Whenever you call out and you pray to God, you call on Jesus. But you also have your ancestors. You also have your spirit guides. You got your angels. You got the universe. You got the moon. You got the sun. You got the stars. Yes, I'm repeating. You got the moon, the sun, and the stars as well, working in your favor. You also got the, other galaxies, the Pleiadians, Gaia, Mother Nature. Like literally, you have got all four corners. And what also just came to my mind too is that not only do you pray for people in this realm, like in the flesh, but you also pray for the ones that crossed over, even to the ones that didn't live so much of a great life, because there has been a couple of people, spirits that's already crossed over that I thought of, who I really felt for, and I talked about it in my previous video. And that I prayed for them. I prayed that if they do come back and reincarnate, that they get the loving parents. They get the love because they lived a past life here to where they was abused by their parents. They didn't receive that love. And when you don't receive love, you can get attached a monster to you. Literally, somebody without love is like a psychopath. Love heals. It literally does. And that God is so tired of all the bullshit and not the listening. They don't want to realize you change. They don't like how you mirror and you try to give them advice to help them out. And that's another thing that God has been telling me. And He really has to tell me this, that some people are not ready to wake up, to not get upset, no matter how much you try to help them. Some people are just ready for that, and a lot of people aren't going to like you for that. They're going to envy you for it. And that is one hard lesson that God has been teaching me, that just because, you're walking on this healing path and you want the best for people, but some of them, they don't want to hear it. They rather be still asleep or numb or in this delusion. And it's going to anger some people that you really, really, really thought had your back. Some people ain't ready for the truth. They rather go back to sleep. So even though God is bringing in this tower, I'm hearing the song, "Don't Stop Believing." I literally heard that on the radio. Because God is telling us to keep praying. One thing too, I heard that, I pray a lot in my head, but now I need to start praying out loud, because words are powerful. To light a white candle, for your angel, your spirit realm. No matter what they throw at you, you're not, the material world is not, yes, you want a solid foundation, but the foundation you was at was crumbling. God has to remove everything. And yes, it could be in a way that it could really scare you, but you really have to protect your peace. They're trying anything. Another download I got is they want to catch you slipping on saying something about a phone call. They want to catch you or in a criminal act. They want you to go back to the old you. They want you in low vibration. They just cannot accept that you're on this journey, and they will not accept that how strong you are. Some of you guys could go out there and people would never know what you're going through. Would never know. And when everything around you, I'm literally seeing a tornado. Everything's being taken away. God is saying, you have done your best. I need to take care of this. Let me do the work. And I say this over and over, but because I keep hearing God say this, you'll say, God, how? God always finds a way out of no way. He created the world in 7 days. He parted the sea. Miracles happen every day. It's your heart. When you have a loving heart, when, some people can do, you could have had almost everybody give you that ultimate betrayal, but you would never turn around and betray. God is just saying, cut them off. You have to cut them off. You have to forgive. You have to let go. And you guys, I'll say this all the time. Whatever I'm telling you, what I know, I tell to myself. I say this again. A lot of them think that you think you're better than them, but no, that's not it. Once again, I'll repeatedly say this. That is the devil putting that energy on them to keep them stuck in that bitterness. That's the demons talking to them. Yeah, they think they're better than you. Yeah, you don't. You know what I'm saying? And you don't. And that's the devil pulling the illusion over their eyes to make them feel that way. Some of you guys pray for these people. Think about Jesus. He prayed for his enemies. He had the ultimate betrayal, but his heart stayed pure. So pure. People, they spit on him. They put him through the worst. And if we don't have hearts out in the world like this world is not going to turn. You know, one day God, Jesus is going to return. You know, it can't stay like this, but your heart is what's changing the world. Literally, just like in the movie Legion, Michael, the angel Michael said, he told Jeep, it's because of you. I'm still having faith in humanity because of people like you who stayed and was loyal to people, and you help out and you care even when things weren't meant for you to bear, but you took it because you cared. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, because a lot of people, they would rather turn their back. And God has to show you right now that there's a lot of people that you stayed and you loved. But when the tower comes from you, there's a nobody around. You know what I'm saying? But God has to reveal that to you. It has to be like, this healing journey isn't going to be easy. It's going to hurt. But I promise it'll get better. God will give you the strength. God will give you the peace to go on. And they would rather see you fall than win. But you got to have faith. Because believe me, there's more people out there like you with the hearts. You know, not everybody. You have your earth angels out there. Not only that, you're helping others. You literally are helping others change, because a karma can absolutely turn divine. Absolutely. You know, when I talk, I don't want to leave anybody out. I don't want to leave anybody out. God is calling you. Jesus is calling you, no matter what you got, what you don't got. You have something to offer at the table. You have a purpose. And the harder the walk, I promise you, your purpose is really big. I know you can't see far down the road, but somebody's going to have, it's got a really big purpose, man. You're going to touch a lot of hearts. And asking you shall receive. You know, ask God, ask Jesus what you need. But you know what He already needs. You know, especially when you cry, like those tears that you cry has your prayers in it. You know, and sometimes I'll say to God, I wonder how big my jar is, because God literally collects your tears in a jar, and it's on a mantle, you know. And like I said, it's good to cry. It really is, because it's a form of purging. And I talked about that in my last video. It's really, really good to cry. You know, so don't be afraid to let it out. Your peace is coming, your sanctuary is coming, your blessings are coming. But you already know that. You know, you're blessed because you woke up today, you know. But right now, the devil wants you to think that there's nothing's coming for you. You have nothing. Nobody cares. Nothing's coming for you. But your Father is up there watching it all. He sees it all. And you got a spirit team that is working so hard on your behalf. Literally. So do not let your heart turn bitter and cold. Keep your heart open and be still, because He's working it out in your favor, as well as your angels. He's sending, I'm hearing thousands upon thousands. Be still. God is working. I love you guys. 333. All journey long to the moon, to the stars, to back here. Mwah. Bye.